What's up YouTube? LTH back with another video. And this video is going to consist of Texans versus Raiders. Now that the Texans bye week is over, and I gotta say, both teams were on a bye week. So hopefully that the Texans came up with a better plan to turn things around from the way things looked the first 5 games. Especially on the offensive side, because if I learned anything in the first 5 games, Texans had a hard time closing out teams, whether they had a lead, large or small. I mean, their Achilles heel was finishing off games, especially with insurance touchdowns for sure, along with stopping a run, which I will get into. So, the Houston Texans are going into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. You know, that of course I understand. Don't want to reminisce in the past, but these two teams last met. You know, Deshaun Watson was the quarterback, and he threw that winning touchdown to Darren Fells that won them the game. And I gotta say, it was a battle. But fast forward to 2022, it's a different year, different team. And I gotta say, the Texans run defense gonna have their hands full again, as they're gonna be going against Josh Jacobs, because the Raiders are gonna give Josh Jacobs the rock. It's gonna come down to how they can stop him. How the hell are they gonna stop the run now that the bye week is over? And when does the D line gonna make some noise? Like, is this the game that the D line finally make noise? Is this the game that Christian Harris get some playing time, along with a few players that we had on IR starting off the season, along with Tavierre Thomas? Because, man, I miss his presence for sure. Because he was pretty underrated coming in, but it sucked that he had to start off the first 4 games on IR. So, let's talk about it. The Raiders, they're good at running the ball, and I know they came off a tough loss against KC before going into their bye week. I mean, they had their share of chances of winning games, but they just couldn't finish. So it's safe to say that the Texans aren't the only one that had trouble closing out games. So let me talk about some keys to this game. You know, of course, like the Raiders, the Texans got to run the ball with Dameon Pierce. Now, if memory serves me right, the Raiders are pretty good at stopping a run, which they're a top 5 in, if I'm not wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, but they're pretty solid stopping a run. So I know they got Max Crosby, who is a stud, and they may have some other players that are good as well. But it don't change the fact that Dameon Pierce gotta attack the line of scrimmage, if it means taking as much pressure off Davis Mills as possible. And of course, the playbook got to open up. Hopefully, Pep Hamilton came up with some solutions of solving his offensive woes for the Texans. You know, putting the offense in much better positions. Yeah, we're in rebuild, but still, the playbook got to open up, get Nico touches, and I hope Brevin Jordan plays this game. But if not, then O.J. Howard and Jordan Akins got to do their thing. And online plays got to do their thing if it means neutralizing that D line and Max Crosby, because that dude can cause havoc as well. And of course, the secondary has been pretty solid, but the linebacker play has got to improve. I mean, I don't hate Grugier Hill and, Kirksey, but they've been off so far this year. Hopefully they can improve, but at the same time, the linebacking play got to play better. And hopefully Christian Harris can get some playing time for sure. The pass rush got to be on point, harass the shit out of Derek Carr. Because I know he's going to feed Devontae Adams, which is his go-to target, and Darren Waller if he plays this game. Got to neutralize those two. And Hunter Renfro, the one they call third and Renfro. I mean, that's the Raiders' go-to guy on third down. So, got to keep the ball out of his hands as much as possible. And, make the other receivers earn it. And I know it's not going to be easy, but hey, if they can do all that enough, they got a chance. And the defense got it. One area that the Texans are good at is the red zone defense. They give up a bunch of yards, but one thing they've been good at in the red zone is keeping the other teams out the end zone. So that's a plus. But outside the red zone, that's where they give up a truckload of yards, which is a pain in the butt. So how can they do that? Play much better outside the red zone, defensively, eliminating the big plays, don't commit stupid penalties, don't stay on the field for too long, because the moment that the Texans defense gets tired, then the Raiders gonna really start lighting them up, especially with Josh Jacobs in that ground game, even through the air. So getting off the field quick will be better, quick 3 and outs, forcing on the Raiders. And of course, you got to force turnovers, to give the offense in better positions to put points on the board. Though Davis Mills got to be confident for sure, he got to be on his A game, trusting his arm and spread the field too, feed other players the ball. Don't just rely on one receiver and Brandon Cooks, who's so far had an up and down year, but create separation within the receivers. Don't be predictable. Play calling can't be predictable every game, because then the Raiders are going to have an idea of what the offense is going to try to throw at them. So mix it up a little bit to keep the Raiders guessing. That's the only way they can move the ball effectively and score points. And I know there was talks around building around Davis Mills and all, but the way Pierce it's looking more like building around Dameon Pierce if he keeps playing the way he's playing, especially in the long term. So the keys to this game, force turnovers. Pierce got to carry the load, this offensive load. The pass rush, effective pass rush, getting off the field quick, and play a complete game as well for 4 quarters. If they get a lead, deliver a complete game for 4 quarters, and don't throw it away over some dumb penalties and dumb committed turnovers. Now, as far as the prediction wise, if the Texans do lose this game, it'll be because of, too many dumb mistakes and, giving the Raiders too many chances to move the ball downfield, which is part of the defense inability to make a stop when it matters, and not putting enough insurance touchdowns on the board. Now, if the Texans do win this game, it'll be because of the consistency. They were able to deliver a complete game with insurance touchdowns. And of course, key defensive stops in the clutch. But for my realistic prediction, I hope I'm wrong, I will say, but I'll say Raiders win about 2 scores. That's my realistic prediction, It's because of, they got a much better roster offensively than Houston, to be honest. You know, when you factor in Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfro, yeah, that's gonna conclude my preview. So, like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but until my recap, it'll take checking on the pot here. Let's go Texans. H-Town salute. I'm out.